Hi everybody, welcome back to Bonsai Down Under. Today I'm going to work on my ficus forest that I've been working and established for the last 2 years. It's gotten pretty high and it's had a fair bit of growth. So I've just let these trees grow together in this pot. There's a bit of sedum at the front there too. As that sedum, it goes absolutely crazy. It grows everywhere. So my plan is to get this into more of a landscape style. We're going to get some muck in there and create some different variations of terrain in there. So yeah, it's going to look absolutely totally different when it's finished. So we'll just I just want to show you, zoom in here as the ficuses. I mean, all these trees have grown so crazy and put on a lot of growth. See, the ficus is a really good tree if you want to get fast growth on your actual planting itself. That's been in that pot now for about 2.5 years, I'd say. I've had them in there all together. So it's really good if you want to do like a forest planting. You should actually plant all your trees together instead of just establishing them in stages. Because that way you can sort of get an idea how they're going to sort of develop and how they're going to grow together. So like the ficuses are very, very vigorous. They I mean, look at the root system down in there. It's just gone nuts. So it's time to basically get this out of the pot now, because like I said, I want to change the whole outlay of the whole pot itself. And do more of a landscape design in there. Just giving you a little spin around. I've got some smaller ones at the back here too that I've been trying to join in together. Just put them together and they bond together. Another one out here, it's a nice one starting. And so there's about I think I've got about 6 in here. So, and see, I didn't want to overcrowd it too much. But I was still thinking I could probably still put some other little ones in later on. But these are going to be the main 6 that are going to be established in the planting itself. All right, we'll see you back in the studio, and I'll start on the pruning side of these ficuses. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bonsai Down Under. Alright, we got our ficuses here. So our first stage we're going to do is we're going to give them a bit of a prune back, because they're fairly high and I think that they're way too high. This is my main one here, you know, that's nearly a metre high. Yeah, so we want to really adjust this, because I'm going to have, I want to start putting in some nice sort of edging and leveling and make it look like a bit of a cliff style with a nice sort of little walkway thing going through the middle, then down onto the front of it, and then and then that walkway basically will follow down onto a nice little bridge. So it gives you the feel as though you know, you're walking through a nice big forest, you know, looking up at the trees. Like I said, the ficuses are very, very vigorous, so you've got to stay on top of them. You've got to take them out, and at the moment it's a good time. We're in spring now, so it's a good time to pull this out, and so it's got all the growing season to develop its new growth and see where it's going to head. So that's why you get on top of it now and cut it all back, and then and I want to do that landscaping to it too. Alright, so let's give this a prune back first, eh? Let's have a look at this. We've got, I'm going to sort of have a look, I'm going to turn it my way a little bit so I can sort of have a look here. Sort of keep you guys in camera a bit there. At this stage, when they're young, I mean, you can lop them off, and I mean they're gonna branch out again and grow another, maybe, you know, it'll go a different direction sort of thing. but I think they look better when they have a little bit of bending in them and that, a little bit of shaping. It doesn't matter where you basically cut them back to. I mean, it's all going to grow again, and gives you a chance to change what you want to do again. So, and that's the fun of watching them grow and developing them. So, you know, I'm going to basically just give them a bit of a haircut and see. Look at this here. Like, I mean, we're going to be cutting it off. It's going to be a decent sized branch. So, I mean, we can use that for another cutting and get it to grow a little bit, the roots, and we can add them to my to the forest planting. I'm just going to do a cut, guys, with this, and then we can. There we go. I think that's a nice sort of height for the top one. And see, look at that there. That's a nearly, you know, 3 or 4 cuttings out of that you can get to start again. I mean, and these ficuses, I mean, you throw them straight in the ground into a bit of potting mix and they'll just take off. So anyway, we'll just leave it down there for now. They should be fine. All right. And you got to watch these ficuses too, because they have a lot of white sort of sap that comes out of them. And now, like I said, because the trees now are producing the sap through their main veins into all the branches and stuff like that. So, because they're all like the trees, everything's coming awake now. We'll just sort of do individually each one of them a little bit, and just keep them under control a little bit. Before we move on to the next stage. So that's pretty well much the that's going to sort of be the sort of height that I want for the main tree, and then we'll sort of level them down a little bit. I am going to be moving these too. They're not going to. This is not where they'll be established later on. I'm going to move them around a little bit because, like I said, we're going to change the whole outlay of it, and so it's going to look a lot different when it's done. So like I said, we'll just prune these ones back a little bit. They haven't grown that much, those ones, so we'll just prune them back down a little bit. This one over here is probably the second biggest one that I have in here. So, I mean, that one there will be towards the front more when I'm finished. So we'll probably just prune that like probably a nearly sort of similar height, but maybe just a little lower for now. Just off about there somewhere. And I have a bit of a mixture in this too. There's some variegated leaf ones and then the green. So that puts a nice sort of contrast in with the planting, I think. We can adjust all these sort of ones later. I mean, I'd say just give them a bit of a little haircut just to tighten them in a little bit. I'll just prune these back ones back a bit. Yeah, there's somewhere. Like I said, I mean, you can always, they're going to grow again, you know, and you can change your where you want to put things, and where you want the height of them, stuff like that. You can always adjust that. I'm thinking, let's maybe take that one back a little bit, that one there, at the back there. The next stage will be is to get these out of the pot. We're going to make up some muck. So we've got some peat moss there and a little bit of organic matter and some sphagnum moss, and we'll wet that down and see if we can compact that together, and to make some sort of to get some walls happening. And then once we have the main creation of what I want with where the walls are going to be, we're going to add some rocks into that then, so it sort of gives it, and then we'll try to introduce some of this sedum and stuff, and dig that in there, so it looks like it's growing out of the walls a little bit of the cliff sort of thing around the rocks. Our next stage will be, let's take all this sedum out, and then we'll remove some rocks. We've got some lovely rocks here. Let's see. I'm gonna sort of imprint into that wall sort of thing, and then grow, you know, and grow some sedum out of those cracks and things like that. Yeah, it's all about creating basically, and the feel of it and that, and that's the fun of it. And so, like I said, it's all a journey. So yeah, and I did buy another big bag of rocks too, a bit smaller style of rocks, but there's all different sorts there, and it's good to have them if you you know, to have them on board if you want to create like a pension or you know, or some sort of forest landscaping. They're really good to add into your planning. It gives it the appeal of more of a it's a natural scene, and you know, yeah. All right, what we'll do is I want to get these out of here now, and I'm going to leave them in a little bit of water. We'll have a look at the root system on them. So yeah, so yeah, this video will probably be in probably at least 4 parts, I'd say. So this is part 1 of it. So yeah, if you like what we're doing here, and then you're interested in maybe doing like a little landscape forest and put it in your balcony somewhere, or somewhere nice where people can sort of, you know, they come over and they see it, and it's a nice attractive thing to have in your garden or in your barbecue area or something like that. Because these ficuses, I mean, they don't really need to grow in the sun. I've had these have been growing in the corner of my back of my house here, and only now the sun's changed direction. They're getting a little bit of sun there, so, but these guys will grow in full sun, and then, like I said, they're a nice sort of part shade indoor sort of plant too. So yeah. So anyway, I'll get these out of the pot, and we'll be right back with you, and we'll have a look at these roots and how crazy these roots have gotten. All right, be back soon. All right, guys, we've pulled this out of the pot, so this is what we're left with. So what we're going to do is we're just going to separate them now. So let's get these separated. These roots are just gone absolutely nuts in this. So yeah, we've got to have a look at them and see what we've got, and cut back the strong ones, so we can keep the balance right in the trees. So yeah, so what we'll do is we're just going to I'll separate it all, and give them a little rinse out. What I might do first, I might put them in some water, just so they're soaking in a little bit of water. Well, that's one out. I just I'm going to work around and just do the I got a little pot of water over here. I'm just going to be putting them into. So we're just going to fish them apart. I've kept this soil quite dry too to do this. You don't really want to be attacking this when the soil's really wet. It's going to be a lot harder for you, a lot messier. So I've allowed this to dry out a little bit, which really, the soil's nice and loose, and you can get these trees separated really easy. As you can see there, see how we've got a really strong root there. We want to balance this out a little better. So those are the sort of things you want to correct now, as the trees are young trees. So then you get a nice, a lovely flow of roots going out there. A little bit more control over it. But yeah, that's basically what you want to do. The ficuses, I mean, they're really going to be quite vigorous. So I think it's something that I'll have to basically do every couple of years, just to have a look at it. And so that keeps that energy going and that balance through the tree better. So see, this one's not too bad. It's got a fairly thick root there. We'll probably just reduce a little bit, and we'll bring all these tighter back in a little bit. These ficus, as I said, now they're gonna have all the growing now season again. So, and some of these high ones up here, it's a bit high up sort of thing. We might keep some of them to come down So we'll encourage them to come down, and they can be like like that sort of like an aerial root coming down into the soil. Oh well, there you go. See that there? How that's see how that these were separate, these two little trees, and look, see how that's infused already together there. So this will eventually just keep on fattening up and infusing together, and so you'll get a nice little you get you know something a little bit different there in your trunk line, a little twist in it there. So that's the whole idea that I was thinking of. All right, and we've got some fairly major roots happening with these ones, our main trees. See, this is why now is it's the importance of getting on top of this now, because if you let this grow longer in more seasons, I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a lot harder for you to keep under control. See, these ficus, they tend to curl over onto other roots and go underneath and everything like that. So that's why you've got to keep on top. See this one here, there's one here that's going across over top of this root here. So, you know, you've got to basically bring it back around or something like that, and getting it to go in the right sort of a nice flow of direction going down along that trunk line. All right, so we'll get him out of there. I think, see, he's going to be too big for this pot, so we're going to have to get another one. Take in there a little bit, and now we've got this big last one here. This will basically be our main tree. So, and I think this one here is the main root system is it's gone nuts. So we'll have to reduce this a lot to get this back in this into this planting. We'll get this mess cleaned up here on the table, and we'll see, look at the size of that root there. This, my gosh, it's a long root. So anyway, this one here I'm going to have to, I can't even get that in the bucket, it's too big. So we're going to have to just rinse this one, and we'll start on this one first. Alright, righto guys, we're back. We'll just had to have a bit of clean up, a bit area, tidy up there. And we've got this big monster we're going to work on first, alright? So like I said, I think we're going to reduce all of this. It's otherwise it's just going to get too crazy. So I feel as though I'm going to remove this. I'm going to take it right back and see if we get something new come out of there. Another one we're going to remove is up here. This is way too high up on that trunk line, and that one's come out of there. We'll remove it. Okay, these guys here are a bit too high up too. I don't like them at the moment. We'll just remove them. No, we need to have them there. This root here, it comes out. It's too high up. It just wants to go head out, and it's got this. It's got a flare up through here. It's right up high. It's got a big bulbous bit in the middle here too. So I think I'm just going to remove that completely, because I think that's too high up still on the root system there. We'll take that one off too. So now, see, we're getting down to a nice sort of level of plane of the roots. We've got one here. See how it's very fat, and it's just shot out on a crazy angle there. I'll just give that a little rake out here. There's one in here that's really fat, and then it just gets really thin there. So there's a nice little feeder root off here, but I don't like this bulbous bit here. It's I don't like that. I'm going to remove that, because it's just not right where it is there. And it's only going to cause more dramas with it later. I'm thinking of trimming this clean off through here, and then allowing this all on a nice plane. This is sort of all on a nice level, these roots here, and we've got feeder roots all started there still. So it's, I mean, it'll have a little setback, but that's okay. You know what I mean? That's what you have to allow. And because it's on two planes there, that root system. It's I'm thinking we should lop it off straight through here, and I think that's going to be a lot better for the tree too. Take off this bottom bit all together. I don't think. Yep. Get rid of it. It's just not doing the right thing, man. It's just big fat roots that are curling over each other, and yeah, we've got to correct that now. So now we're left with a nice sort of a root system that's on a similar level as each other. Is what you want. We don't want any of these yet. Remove them. So it's got written, so we've got some fine ones starting here on a nice plane that they're flowing out. So now what we'll do now is we'll just go around and we'll fix up some that are curling off the direction we don't want. Give all these a bit of a haircut. One up top there, that one's going upwards too. We don't want that one to point upwards. I think that one will do that one. I think it's going to be a lot better. We've started, you know, everything was sort of like all on different planes there, and it was some big bulbous roots that were, you know, taking over. Too much energy going in different parts of the tree there. But anyway, we'll leave it at that, like that, and then we'll see what that root system's going to head. And I think I'll just remove that a bit more. That one, like I said, these will bounce back. We'll get some roots coming out of those points there again for sure. So, and we'll just keep an eye on them just to see what they're going to do. And yeah, they don't get too bulbous. Okay, that one we'll put in the water. Okay, our next one. This is our next tree. Alright. Same thing here again, really. It's like it's, see, we've got this big root that's come out of the bottom there. So, and it's too fat, and it's sort of come out on a really crazy angle there. So I think I will be reducing this too, so it's on a nice plane again. Okay, we're just giving that a little bit more of a rinse out. There I have. Oh there, let's just give this a bit of a rake out and have a quick look here. So this one's not too bad. As I said, like it's got this bulbous root down the bottom here. Well, I think we're going to just completely remove that. There's one there. I believe that has to go. It's not. All right. So now we've got them basically all on a similar sort of plane there now. We've got this big one up here. At the moment, the tree's, I think, way too young to have that sort of big fat one growing there. Because I think if we leave that, it'll basically get a real big bulbous bit growing there. You get a big knuckle growing in there. So I think at the moment, I think that's way too high anyway. So, oh good, righto. So what we'll do is reduce these a bit now, so we can get them all back in that pot. All right, we'll just leave it at that for now. We're gonna leave something on there, a bit of root system on there. We don't want to remove it all off there. So we'll leave it at that, and then we'll see what it's like. We'll let it strengthen up again. But now see, look, we've gotten rid of all that yucky bit on there. We should get some encouraging roots to come out of here from that point now, which will encourage it a lot better and keep it all on the same sort of plane as each other. There's that one there. We'll put that in the water. Now, next one here. Okay, so this one's not too bad. It's probably got one big fat root there. I'd like to reduce, because it seems to be getting taking over a bit. So these are way too high up the top here. We'll probably just remove these. They don't need to be up there that high. We'll remove them. Yeah, still pretty high up on the root plane there, I think these are. So I think, yeah, they'll need to go. Even that one there, I think it's too high up. That's not too bad, it's all sort of on the same plane there. I'll just reduce that a bit more. Let's just let that grow now and do its thing. Put that one in there, and get another one out. Okay, so this one here, we've got a fairly thick bit tree there. So we want to establish where we want the actual root plane to start. So we'll reduce this fat one here. I'd say we'll give him right back because that's just too big. It's taken over too much there. I think that's too much energy going on with that one. We want to cut that back a bit. They're all sort of similar at the same sort of level there. Let's just prune some of these back a bit now. I think that's got a crazy angle, so I want to remove that. Actually, that is too high up on there. I think so. I think I'm going to remove it completely. There's one up in here. One up in here that's a little bit high up. I think on there. I think I'm just I'll remove it too. So everything else looks pretty good. What we'll do is reduce this one, we will, to in tighter. Everything else looks pretty good there now. I think it's nice and reduced. And we've taken them back. So now it'll we can bring that one down the side there. Give a bit of a feature still. I like that little bit of a bend that's going on with that one there on that side branch. And like I said, we can reduce this branch here a little bit too, you know, and make it a little bit smaller. We can just cut it back a little bit and then maybe wire it out a little bit. Something like that. I'll sort of see later. Anyway, that one there can go in there. Alright, this one here. Okay, this one was one that I put three together. We're trying to get them to infuse together, which is not too bad. It's going to eventually do that. I'm actually thinking about putting some more tie around this too, and that like I had that green tie around that other one, and it's actually, because it's stuck together, they're actually touching more. They'll infuse together quicker. So I might do this one later when I get it in. I'm going to put some more ties on it to keep that pressure together, keep it bonded together a bit more. I think we're going to reduce this right back. I think we'll take this right back to about up here. I think it's a good idea. Let's take all that away. Anyway, that's pretty good. We'll leave that one like that, I think. And that's, as I said, we'll bind that together a bit more. That will be interesting when it starts to grow a bit more and get developed. So that one there will go in there. We'll put it in there. And this is this other one we got. See, it's our little one here, which really fused together really good. It's fused itself together already in that one area. Yeah, so, and even actually up here too, it's starting to do it. So that's actually done really well. This little one. Yeah, but what we'll do, we'll just reduce some of these ones. It hasn't got a very big root plane happening yet, but just get rid of some of those curly ones that are going on a crazy angle, I think. That one there's not too bad. It's got a nice little flare already happening, and we'll keep developing that as just cut them back a little bit, reduce them a little bit there. Oh, that's the last one. All right, so we'll keep them in some water there for a while. I'll zoom out and I'll have a little chat with you. All right, so we'll be back. All right, okay. I think that'll do for this video, for the first stage. So we've got these ficuses out of that green planter, and we've given them a really good tidy up. Like I said, we've got these a little bit more under control now. We've reduced those really big bulbous roots on them. A bit like, and the thing is, these guys will be a lot more. As I said, we've got a nice sort of root plane there now happening on a nice level there, same level, and that's what you want to do. Maybe, you know, with these forest plantings, I mean, you might have to have a look at them, because being a ficus, they're like I said, they're very vigorous, and you got to stay on top of them, otherwise they'll you'll start to get these bulbous roots and roots going all in different directions. And what I'm trying to achieve is to have a nice fine radial root system happening there, and keep removing those bulbous roots out of the way, which you don't need. And so it keeps that nice energy flowing through the tree. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this part, and so stay tuned for part 2, which we're gonna start making the muck, so we can start designing and forming some different terrain levels and things like that. And so that's the whole idea. And so I'll get my landscaping sort of sorted out a little bit better. So stay tuned for part 2. And well, thanks for tuning in and watching Bonsai Down Under. I'd like to thank the people that have taken the time and taken an interest in my channel. And thank you for subscribing, and please like and subscribe, or share it with somebody that may have an interest. And like I said, it's something that you can do and get you away from your phone and your TV and stuff like that, and get you out and enjoy nature a little bit, and maybe leave something on this planet, you know, for somebody else to enjoy too later. All right, so everybody stay safe, and I'll catch up with you again on Bonsai Down Under. Thanks for watching.